Hi guys, and welcome to Heike's Sofa, or Sofa Talk with Heike, or rather in front of Heike's sofa, because today is going to be about crystals and everyday crystals. And when I got into this whole thing, I realized I need nearly a big crystal every day, so I had to really bring it down. So I've chosen a few, which are all like here in front of me, and you're just going to have to bear with me. But before I start showing you some crystals, I would just like to mention a few things. Firstly, crystals have many, many wonderful uses and powers and qualities, but ultimately the crystals are not something that like you put in front of you and you do your work and you don't put the right kind of intent in it and you don't align yourself with and expect them to do their thing on your own. They're tools, and they're powerful tools when they're used properly. So with that, it's like when you align yourself something and you need backup and you need amplifiers and magnifiers or a little bit of like backup kind of thing. This is where the crystals come in. Fabulous for healing, fabulous for protection, and all those kind of things. So the number one thing is when you do go and get a gemstone or a crystal, very often we would be like very much drawn to like, let's go for the pretty one. But unfortunately, it's not always the qualities of the pretty ones that we might need at that moment. So the number one thing is, unless you're hunting for a very specific one because you know what you want and what you need for something, I would just say whenever you go into a crystal shop or come across a crystal, literally let your system decide. So the one you're drawn to is the one that you need right now. That might be a different one next week, in a month, in a day, in a few hours. But believe me, your energy field knows the best because this is what it works with. So how do I know which one is the best one for me? Literally, when you have two different crystals, put them in each hand and close your hand on it and just feel into it. Does it feel nice? Does it feel light? Does it feel heavy? Does it give me a nice feeling? Does it feel a bit like a yucky kind of thing? Is it just doing nothing for me? So this is like literally, and the one is literally the one that connects with you the best, irrespective of what it looks like. This is the one you should be going for right now. But yeah, and also when you buy any kind of crystals, or even when you get it gifted, which is a wonderful thing, you always got to cleanse your crystals first, because wherever they come from, who's ever handled them, however they've been transported or whatever, it will have that energy attached to it. So you don't want to start off on your own journey and your own kind of interaction with a crystal that comes preloaded with all kind of stuff. That's not necessarily bad, but it's simply not yours. It's a bit like smudging your space. So with any kind of crystal, no matter what it is, in which form it comes, always cleanse it first. Cleansing can be done in different ways as well. So what I always do is like every full moon, I just put everything out under the full moon, and it's a very powerful recharge. Then there's different ways. Some can be done with water. You can do it with sound. Some can be done with salt, but not every stone likes salt. So the easiest way is intent. So you can simply also just hold it and say like, I'll cleanse it of all previous kind of things. Like there's so many ways. Google it as well, but always cleanse it first. Also when other people handle your stones, cleanse it first. Right, now let's get into some stones. Before I got more into stones years back, well, I used to do the exact same thing, and I always liked gemstones in jewelry. And I went to like what looks pretty, and that time it's like I put on whatever clothes and then I've chosen the stones that would go for it. Nowadays it's the other way around. I choose the stones first and then what goes with it, because it is just more and more important for me to have the right energy, the rest can match. So let's go into it. I've chosen some that are very, very common stones, but or most people have knowledge of, that we can use. So let's get started with, they come in different shapes and sizes, and they come in different kind of, they come polished, they come raw, they come as clustered. I'm not going to go into these massive details. The very basic is, if they come in clusters, if they come polished, if they come as pendants, or whichever form they come, the basic qualities of the stone remain. So, and I'm not going to go into each properties like of the darkness and this and that. So I'm going into the basic qualities of it. So when it comes now to where do we start? Let me start with one of my favorites, and that is black tourmaline. Now, what is black tourmaline? It doesn't look very spectacular. It looks like a piece of tar nearly. There we go. It is literally a black stone. It's a bit of like white speckles and things in it. And I've got them in different sizes. Again, you get them all also as jewelry and bracelets and all kind of things. Now, the black tourmaline, why this is one of my most favorite ones is, firstly, it goes with the root chakra, so it's for grounding. So when there's a lot of stuff happening and we're all over the place, it's a really good grounding stone. But the main use for the black tourmaline is, it's like the bodyguards of all stones. It is a protector, and it also absorbs negative energy. So I've got them literally everywhere. I've got them over my front door. So anybody who walks in and out which has some good energy, does not mean they hold bad energy. They might just have a bad day or have some sickness or something. This is kind of like walking through a curtain of it as well. Also, how in a car, when you have those like miffy kind of co-workers or family members, have it on you, put it under your desk or put it under that person's desk as well. This is a master protector and absorber of negative energy. Black tourmaline, get yourself them. Some, as I said, you can have them all shapes and sizes and have it on you as well. I also got one in my car. I've got one in my handbag. So it's pretty much everywhere in my life. And it is really, or when you just feel like somebody's really like agitating you, or you're kind of like trying to breathe, especially nowadays with so much happening, you can really also just hold it in kind of like, so it's not just with the outside negativity that comes to you, but you also stay focused and positive and clear and protected within your thinking, within your patterns, especially when there's lots of change going on, and not buying into fear and all that. So right now, I don't know if you want to call it the anti-corona stone, this is definitely what it is. It's also wonderful when you deal like with anxiety and depression, because this is all negative based energy. Black tourmaline is your big friend, believe me. And A, because it grounds, and as I said, B, it gives us calm, and it keeps us safe. So this is the gemstone bodyguard, which you find absolutely everywhere. And so yeah, get those, put them all over. Black tourmaline, they're not very expensive, depending obviously which sizes you go for, and try and get some. And as I said, when you have that pesky kind of like person around you, a lot, or in the office that you can't avoid, literally pluck it nearby, or have like a little force field around you, and it really does the trick on that one. And as I said, it also helps to keep your thoughts clear. So that's the good old tourmaline. Then we have, now that we have like the stone that keeps like all the stuff away that we don't want, inside and outside, so to say. Now there is the stone, the good old rose quartz. Again, comes in many shapes and forms, and yes, I do have balls. Lots of balls. So good old rose quartz. So this is the most common form that most people know. You get it in most garden centers and nurseries and stuff like that. This is like the raw form. This is, as you just see, this is a rose quartz ball, and there's a pendulum here as well. So as I said, it comes in so many different ways, but this is a stone as well where you can't have enough. These are literally all over in my home as well. They're in most of my plants, because it is also a good thing for plants. But this is a heart stone. This is about calm. This is about peace. This is about love. Outside and inside again. Let's not forget that. So where it brings calm and tranquility and balance in your environment, it also brings you calm and tranquility. So if you get hyped up a lot, or you're having a bit of a difficult time right now, or there's a lot of friction around you, pluck them everywhere. Plus they also look pretty, so they can really just also be part of your interior design or even outer design if you want to. Also good luck when you're not sleeping very well or whatever. You can literally have a few of those underneath your bed, and it also just helps to calm down. Also those that battle with anxiety a lot and depression and all of that, rose quartz, lots of rose quartz everywhere. And also when somebody's going through a hard time and you have like that friend, a loved one who's just having a difficult time, might it be, I don't know, a divorce, financial, or simply just having a down day, this is something, give it to them obviously with the right intent, and for them just to kind of like, it's just going to make it a little bit easier, and this is just going to remind me and set the intent in it as well. Also very good for anything to do literally with the physical heart as well. So any kind of like heart related issues, blood circulation issues, all of that is rose quartz. So this is also for the physical healing of it. So we have our good old bodyguard, and then we have the soother, the connected, the heart stone that we can all do with at the moment. There are actually all the time, there's never enough left. So this is it. So as I said, depending on how you want to use it and how often you want to use it. Also, when you are having a difficult time, literally get yourself like one of those stones and hang it the closest to the heart, because this is then where it's going to activate the most, because it's linked to the heart chakra as well. So this is our friend, the rose quartz. It's also about unconditional love, so anything to do with heartache and breakups or anything like that. And also got to do with resentment, anything literally that has to do with emotional stuff that is not ideal. And it's not just in order to prevent and heal, but also when you're in a really good space, in a really loving environment, you want to keep this going. This is also just keep that flowing. So the stones are not just to prevent or heal, but also to keep the connection, just raise an already good vibration. Good. Then we have, let's see where we do go next. Ooh, now another personal favorite of mine. You will figure out there's quite a few, but this is actually one which is I fell in love with quite a while ago, and I have it a lot on me and around me again, and this is called Labradorite. Now the Labradorite is also a stone of protection, but at the same time it also stimulates the intuition. It can, especially in times like right now, you see it's got this beautiful blue hue in it, depending on how the light falls on it. So this is like a bigger, it comes again in different shapes, and there's a heart that has been gifted. You see like those blue beautiful speckles in it. It's just different pieces of it. And as I just realized, I'm actually also wearing part of the jewelry today, so this is definitely one of my favorites as well. So the Labradorite, besides being a stabilizer, like it stabilizes the entire aura, so which is your force field, your energetic force fields as such. It also is good for intuition and inner clarity, because our brain has the tendency to run away with us, and that stone helps us to get actually around the brain and connect to the universe, into our inner wisdom and what's beyond us, where the actual knowledge is. So when everything is upside down, which the world is now more so than ever, this is what helps us connect with the real source. And this is what we need to find our new path and our new balance. So it also helps with calming the overactive mind or the overthinking, those that can't fall off to sleep. Labradorite, there we go, because the brain won't let us, because we have lost control of it at the moment due to the circumstances. Labradorite, so it brings clarity from where you are, who you are, what's going on, and that you are in power with it as well. And it also raises your consciousness, which is connection to spirit. And believe me, they know way more than we know as human beings. So this is the people to listen to right now, because those that had to say in the 3D world, not too sure what they're talking about at the moment. So this is also about being the here now, getting the clearer picture, being clearly connected to the right kind of information and energy as well. Plus it balances the hormones. Ladies, it balances the hormones for all those hot flushes and all those things, or menstrual cycles, events and stuff. Hormones, Labradorite. And I always say, if it doesn't balance anymore, you can always still throw it at somebody. I'm joking, don't throw it at anybody, but it does actually do a great job with hormones as well, and not just for the ladies with menopause and stuff, but generally there's lots happening with those kind of areas as well. So it's also linked to the third eye and through the crown chakra, because this is all about clarity to source and actually bypassing the brain, so just activating those chakras here as well. Beautiful, beautiful stone, has a very powerful, fabulous energy with it. So there is the Labradorite. Then, where are we going next? Ooh, Selenite. Now, Selenite, it might not be that much known, but it's easily available. And it's has many uses, like most of them, but it is about letting go of blockages and letting go of patterns that we have outgrown. It's like a milky kind of stone, and like, as you can see, I'm using it a lot for my crystal healing and then my Reiki and energy sessions, because there's like a crystal wand. I'm not going to say loud what it looks like, I've been told a million times, but all I'm saying is there's a bit of more of a raw kind of form of it, which is not polished. And why I like to use this a lot, because it is one that helps to solving blockages from an emotional point of view, physical, mind, body, soul always works together. So it's always going to be those three. And besides that, I use it in my healings a lot. I also have it on my desk when I do readings. Besides that, it has a beautiful, soothing, calming energy, especially when there's a lot going on. It just gives you the kind of energy with it. And often when I have clients, there's a lot going on and they're all kind of like, and it's just too much. I just make them hold, especially the nice big one. Ask her talk to me, or ask her whatever we do at the moment. And it just literally drains that high energy, which is harmful, which keeps them overstimulated. And it's just a beautiful grounding, harmony nearly kind of energy around it. So what it does, like it releases on the physical plane and all the heaviness kind of stuff and connects you to the bigger picture. So this is an amazing stone. Always gives me goosebumps when I hold it. So it's like, try it out and walk into a crystal shop and hold them and feel them out. It's like, this is not about what the head is telling you. This is like what your system, the mind, body and soul is telling you, how your senses react to it. This is beautiful. This is kind of like somebody coming, like giving you a hug and saying it's going to be okay. And you're going to like, oh, okay, it is. So, and this is just a beautiful aid to also let go. If it's an old pattern of momentary stress, of transitions that we are all going through at the moment. And it also connects to your spirit guides and angels. So it brings all this beautiful energy in. So it's also good for communication. Communication is all that we have to look at a lot, not just talking, but communication. So it is really something that also opens the third eye. So again, this is kind of like the real communication, not being all absorbed by the 3D world and the chaos in it, but the beautiful feminine, but powerful inner knowing. So this is a beautiful, beautiful and incredibly powerful healing stone to have and connected to your angels and all of that beautiful energy with it. So yeah, there are, again, you can get them in different ways on form. This one though, if you have it in the raw form, tends to be a little bit more brittle than others, because some are stronger and harder than others. So but feel it out and find what works for you. But also when I say communication with the selenite, it is also communication with your higher self. So have a look at that and see how you feel it out. So I would say have it around at any given time. Then we have good old Sodalite. Now Sodalite, some people confuse it with lapis lazuli. because again, as you can see, I like balls. And I like that I have balls. And they come in all wonderful shapes again. And it has, let me just bring it closer here, but so you can see it has like this beautiful, like beigey, goldish kind of color through it, but it doesn't have the sparkly stuff in. The lapis has more this is Sodalite. There's the ball form of it. Again, it comes in darker or light blues. And there's like another one that I also use for healing a lot. And I also got them as chakra stones that I use for the Reiki. So it has like the correlated chakra symbol on it. Now, that one is all about communication. This is about talking your truth. This is about speaking up. This is about focus and clear communication. This is about saying who you are, what you are, having a voice. So this is like when we find certain topics difficult, or we find we're not in a safe area to speak up, or even if you have to do a little talk or presentation kind of thing, anything to do with communication. Sodalite, it's one of them. There's others as well, but Sodalite is definitely one of these stones to use for that. Why I'm saying that is also because this one is also making sure that the logic is there, that you trust what comes up, that you trust your flow, and this is like also linked, as I said, to the throat area. So anything kind of like physically, any throat neck related issues like laryngitis, all those kind of things. There we go. Even thyroid stuff, all of that has. This is where the Sodalite comes in. It's also linked to the third eye because it's about speaking and speaking your truth and speaking from your heart. Because if you look at it, the neck and throat is the middle piece between the heart and the soul and actually the outer world. Because we can feel and be and know what we know. If we don't communicate that somehow, it's going to get stuck here. This is very often what people go like all the time, or like it's not because they're necessarily loud, but they're not feeling safe or not secure or feel it's not important enough. Sodalite. Go and get yourself some Sodalite. Again, easiest if you're using it for communication purposes. Have some stone or something around your neck, or have it somehow on you. And this is also about self-esteem. It's also about self-worth, because if you know who you are, you can speak it out and you have a voice and you're being seen and heard. This is like a very powerful, beautiful little like push from the energy saying, you've got this, you've got the right to be heard, and you better be heard. And this is where this is coming in. And this is also coming like, yes, it is valuable enough and you're worthy enough to be heard, to take up space, and it matters. And this is where that is also coming in. And this also helps it with anxiety, because that goes hand in hand. Anxiety goes that like this whole fear-based kind of thing, not good enough, and that what if this goes wrong and that goes wrong. And this brings you into the here and into the now, and actually gets your communication going. So it's about the self-trust and all of that. Of course, you can mix and match those things as well. So if you say, okay, I really want to work on my speaking up or on all of that, and I want to speak from my heart, I want to be more heart-based, and you can simply put it together with a rose quartz. So depending on what you want, you can mix and match them accordingly. It doesn't just have to be one stone. So this is definitely something for people that have like but self-worth issue and also feeling a bit like their confidence issues and all of that. Look at a Sodalite to help you starting to express yourself and trust yourself with that. And it's also good for meditation. It's also good like with panic attacks and stuff, because again it goes like the whole the chest, throat related area falls under that. Is like kind of like knowing who you are and that it's worthy. So Sodalite, really, really good. So it's about logic, it's about communication, it's about focus, anxiety, and trust. It's like, I know who I am, and of course this is worthy, and this is what I speak. And there is no kind of like ifs and buts about it. It's a beautiful stone, very, very good. Then we have, now I'm mixing up all my stones here, doesn't matter. Then we have our amethyst. Everybody knows the amethyst, the beautiful purple stone. So this is like a cluster. They have a little like pyramid. And there's some darker ones and lighter ones. It's also got to do where they're from and how old they are. And there's like a disc. There's like another little pendant. You can also use them as pendulums or whatever you like. I see there's another one which is a bit darker. So those are the amethyst. It is also a protective stone, and but it also helps with the hormones. Ladies, hormones. The amethyst, and then a labradorite. So go for it. And you can literally also just have them around your bed and stuff like that, because they also help with sleeping. So it is a 2-in-1, or actually a 3-in-1 with that. So this is also the amethyst is also about very strong spiritual connections as well. But it also helps people with decision making, moving forward in life, knowing what you're going to, being more decisive, and forging your path. And again, now in those times, we have to forge a new path. We have to find a new normal. We have to find a new rhythm. So this is where this is coming in as well. It also helps that with addictions and all of that, because addictions, what we use is normally just like a suppressing of stuff, and this is what brings you the clarity and the knowing what is what, that you don't need to suppress that much. It's obviously in a nutshell, and yet each individual addiction still has its own kind of thing. But as in a general addiction thing, if it's alcohol, if it's shopping, if it's like whatever, any addiction, it is helpful. On its own, it's not going to do the thing, but it is going to help you with that. Also helps with migraines and headaches, so have those around. And it's also for patience and acceptance. The acceptance thing is something we need to assert, and patience we can all do with that. So have it around. Again, it's like you can also get them like as bracelets or anything. Have them in your pocket. What the ladies do a lot, they stuff it in their bra. Because as we all know, and if guys don't want to hear that, then just block your ears for a second. But I would suggest that if you have a lady who collects crystals, when she takes the bra off, duck, because stones will fly. So put it in there, because it's close to your heart chakras and all of that, and it can't get closer than that. And where do we need protection? So it's like, it is just one thing that more or less every woman is going to start doing once they get into crystals, because we're running out of spaces where to put them. So yeah, girls, learn your ducking skills, and ladies, use it. Those little pockets are put for things in those bras. So have that in there. So this is about decision making, moving forward in life, patience, acceptance. And also good, really good with meditation, getting more into spiritual kind of like connecting with what does matter, and also relaxes the mind. And the mind is what we need to keep under check generally, and now more so than ever. So then I have, well, one more, I'm just going to do this one, is fluorite. Now fluorite also comes in different colors and in different shapes, but this is this very, very pretty. Can you see this? It has like different like shades of ones in it. So fluorite, and there's like a tiny little one here, and it's not as strong with colors, but it is, I don't know how the camera can fix that. So as I said, you get them in different colors, and there's so many different quartzes and all of that. I'm just showing you a small selection of it. Now fluorite is about stimulating the mind, clarity of the mind as well, and it's about quick thinking and understanding new concepts, being change, flexibility, clear up confusion. It's like, whoa, the outer world is saying this, my inner world is saying that, the mind is saying this, the heart is saying that, the neighbor is saying this, politics are saying that, the health industry is saying that. This is kind of like what the flip does us, what you will get. So it would really, really help with clarity, and not just with what's going on the outside, but also on the inside. It helps with confusion. It helps pinpointing what is the crux and what is just the layers that are thrown on top of it, because we very often get lost on those. So it also increases creativity. So when you're a bit stuck and you have a bit like of a creative block, there we go. And when you start looking at them, there's so many different ones, and they're just so mesmerizing, beautiful, because they come in all those layers, and you can really get lost in them. And so definitely there's that. So for mental clarity, for learning for like when you really need to focus on it, but your brain wants to run all over, there it is. Also being used quite a bit for certain learning difficulties or challenges that we have, or some people might have. This is the fluorite as well. So this is also about manifesting new ideas and changing times like now. Off you go. From a physical point of view, it helps with stiffness with mobility. So stiffness of joints and with balance, coordination. So those people that are a bit gravity challenged, and I've got a few in my friendship and family circle, if gravity ain't your friend, get fluorite. And yeah, my daughter has it around her neck and she's still challenged, so yeah, I might just need to get her a boulder, but this is where this is coming in. So it is just a wonderful stone, and if you're not sure what to get, go with what you're drawn to. So to just sum it up very quickly, because otherwise I'm going to talk forever, it's go with what you're drawn to. If you look for protection, Tourmaline, and this is also at the same time when it got to do with grounding. So black is about grounding, master protector is the Tourmaline. There's obviously also others, but I'm going to give you my favorites because we've got limited time. Feel free to Google stuff everywhere. Also helps you with sleeping and stuff like that, and with anxiety, because it's the protection stone. Then we have the rose quartz. Is all about the heart, physically and mentally. So for heartaches, difficult times, emotional stuff, or literally heart-related issues like blood pressures, those kind of things, or big extremes of people having operations, instance, putting in and all of those kind of things. Or just people who can do with having a bit more heart, or acting a bit more heart-based. That might include us. Rose quartz is your friend. Just put it everywhere. It's just great for creating this harmony and balance kind of thing. Labradorite, there's that pretty one, but beautiful. Besides the hormones, it's also a protection stone. Also helps with overactive mind, and connects universal energies, stabilizes the auras, and it's a great it helps you to be very clear about your inner knowledge. And it is also, I like to say, it's a little bit of a bullshit filter, because it helps you to get through the surface levels to the crux of things. You're not being as easily diffused with what's going on, and it helps with courage as well. It's kind of like, whoop, I've got quite straight to the crux. I'm not going to accommodate this, that. This is what I'm dealing with. So that is definitely one. Then we have good old selenite. It's just a beautiful kind of like energy that helps you to let go and to connect with your angels and get this like getting embraced and letting go, mind, body and soul. If it's pattern, if it's attachments, if it's literally anything and everything you need to let go of, and just need a bit of like a do that. So yeah, that is me for now. Feel free to put questions on. And one little thing though, everybody knows the clear quartz. Lots of people wear it because it goes with everything, and it comes in different ways. Now the clear quartz is an enhancer. It's also called the master healer. It enhances anything and everything. So if it goes with a tourmaline, then it's like double bodyguard. So whatever it goes around with, it enhances with. Why I'm normally saying be careful with just wearing those, always having it on you. It doesn't differentiate what's good or bad for you. So if you're in a bad space and you're very ill and very depressed or having major heartache and you're wearing that, it will magnify that. It is an amplifier. So it amplifies what's there, if good or bad. So if you don't ever use the clear quartz on your own if you do not know how to program stones. So if you have it together to magnify something, that's fine. Don't ever use it on its own though, because it cannot differentiate what's good or bad for you. It will enhance what's there. So, but all in all, go to what you're drawn to. You know way more than your brain will make you think. So I hope this helped a bit. And yeah, drop me a question if you have it. Have a good one.